Lee all the way from Korea. Hey, Don, how's it going, man?
Hey, good. How's it going?
Good. I'm so glad we got to make this work. Although it's funny, I was just there with you a week ago, and we talked about trying to do this while we were there, but it turned out to be a little bit too busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so, but yeah, so instead we had to work out the 16-hour time difference and make it work this way. But that works. It's all good. Yeah. So I think, for folks, even before we get into your background, I think it would be great for you to just talk about kind of who you are and what you do for business today. Just give a little bit of background on who you are and stuff, and then we'll get into a little bit of the actual history and everything else.
My name is Dongol Lee, but friends in the U.S. call me Don or Kekoa, my hula name. And I was born and raised in Seoul, Korea, but I went to the U.S. For studying. How long? For about 13 years. And first, when I went to the U.S., I went to Linwood, Washington.
That's right.
Moved to Muncie, Indiana for my bachelor and master degree at the Ball State University. And I finally moved to University of Hawaii at Manoa for my PhD program. I couldn't finish it. And then now I'm in Seoul, Korea, doing my business in video production and event coordination. And also, I also have a Hawaiian Cultural Association, which does teaching music and hula, and also do music myself.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you've spent a bunch of time in the U.S. And you and I had a whole conversation around the transition from the Seattle, Washington area to all the way in the Midwest part of the United States in Indiana, and definitely a very unique one for the Korean, for somebody born and raised in Korea. But let's move on over to Hawaii. And you mentioned that you went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa. What was that? What were you looking to get your PhD in?
Communication and information sciences.
Okay, so related to the stuff that you're doing now. Yeah. But that was obviously cut short. So let's talk about that a little bit. What you get to Hawaii and you start your program. Was it the beautiful weather and surf that steered you away, or was it something else that pulled you away from your studies?
To talk about that, I need to tell you more about how I studied ukulele.
Yeah.
And when I was studying a master's degree in Ball State University in Indiana, Muncie, Indiana, too bored. Muncie, Indiana. You could imagine that. Because I wasn't looking for a music instrument that I could teach myself. And I went to the guitar store to buy one, but instead of getting guitar, I picked up ukulele because it looked much easier. And then the time I was into music, Otasan's music, and when I was applying my PhD at different university, I look at my bed and I saw my ukulele on there, and then wait, maybe there is a program in Hawaii I could apply. And then I started searching, and then I found this program at UH Manoa, and that's how I entered. And I sent the application, and right after I sent the application, I emailed the department that okay, I'm coming, so please interview me. And then they said okay, to come, and then I went there. And then the very first day I went to Hawaii, I went to Waikiki just to walk around, and of course I wanted to stop by the ukulele store. Um, that was the first thing I did instead of preparing for the interview. And then I went out to the Waikiki and then found a store, Pua Ukulele Pua.
Yep.
At the time, it was at the Package Hotel, and then
Mhm.
and that's where I met Ken and Tyler there. And then there I saw Ota-san. Ota-san was teaching some Japanese ladies there, and then I was shocked. And then I think it was a Tyler. Oh, is that Ota-san? Really Ota-san? Then he said, oh yeah. And is he giving a lesson? And they said, yeah, he's giving a private lesson. I was like, oh, how can I get the lesson? Oh, you should know him as a privately. So I was like, oh, okay. So, and it was actually it was really weird. Since then, I got the admission from the department, and then I started studying UH Manoa after a year later, and then all those all the friends and people I was meeting, not related, is completely I mean away from the academic field. So all the
Oh.
people all from music and hula. I didn't really try to go find the people from that area, but I don't know why, but just making friends from ukulele and hula, not from school. So
Well, you know.
so yeah, yeah. So I studied really hard. First couple of years, and then I was even teaching a class too, video production class.
Oh wow.
It was really, hard for me to study and just stuck in the office and desk all day, all night. But the weather outside was so beautiful. Tons of fun things out there, but couldn't do anything. So yeah, so, and I got into, I don't know. I always love music and culture stuff like art, and so when um, that's why when my kumu asked me to join his halau, I was happy to join the halau and then study hula and then learning Hawaiian culture. And then I was like four and a half years later, I decided to quit studying and then come back to Korea.
So you lived in Hawaii for about, what did you say, about 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all that time you were picking up ukulele and you were doing hula. I guess I didn't realize you studied hula as well.
Because I didn't. Yeah, when we were in Tokyo, Hiroshi asked me to wanted me to dance hula, but I didn't. No, I didn't do it.
But you can do the male hula style dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I guess I didn't know that. I probably would have pushed you to see that too. So when you first, when you were playing there for the first 4 or 5 years, were you like, what kinds of things were you doing there in Hawaii when you were playing ukulele? Like, were you getting together with people and doing kind of kapila? Were you what was those first few years like, learning ukulele, or playing ukulele over in Hawaii?
There was one kanikapila every week at Kuhio Beach, and um, I just I just went there. It was every, what was it, Thursday night or Tuesday night, and I went there just hang out with those um, people there. Then that's how I got into learning Hawaiian songs, and I was really into, like, I don't know, I was really into Hawaiian ballet, and hula. And at the time, what I was doing is helping Korean ukulele dealers and musicians to connect with ukuleles factories or manufacturer in Hawaii. And then, and then one of the dealers asked me to help uh, to bring Hawaiian ukulele musicians to Korea. That's how I got into event coordination or planners.
Got it.
Yeah, and then the first Hawaiian ukulele musician we introduced to Korea were Daniel Ho and Robert Jr.
Wow.
And then at the time, KoAloha ukulele helped us a lot because it was at the time those two were KoAloha musicians, so the Okami actually helped us to bring them to Korea. And then since Daniel Ho was the Grammy Awards musicians, Robert Jr. was also, I mean, uh, famous, musicians in Japan and Hawaii. We we were able to hook them up with very one of the one of the top live TV show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really lucky, and then we actually started our show. I mean, introducing ukulele mission very successfully in Korea, and after that we bring Kimo Hussey, and then Robert Junior's couple more times, and then other Hawaiian musicians too, like Mauna Lua, and also like a Kumu Hulas too.
Nice.
Yeah, and then while I was doing it in Hawaii, that's how actually made me decide to quit my study because I was like, okay, enough. I study enough, and then I proved myself I could. I'm the person who could start PhD. So this is it. Now I'm gonna do what I wanted to do. So what I want to do. So I quit, and then that's why came back, and then started my video production and then event planning company. And at the same time, I studied my own music, which is Hawaiian music, and Hawaiian Cultural Association. And then to tell you about more about this music career, I was still I'm the only one who sings Hawaiian songs in Korea. Um, uh, Very new, so that Korea is like Hawaiian culture is a really I mean at the time very new to Koreans. The hula and music, everything. So really, I released my first album with uh, two other good musicians friend, and then and then yeah we were pretty popular. I mean pretty popular because we're the only one who sings a Hawaiian song and then I dance the hula and on the stage. So we went to many good festivals in Korea and then good TV shows, and then the album was nominated by in international album categories. Didn't win, but yeah, but probably we were the first Koreans actually ever nominated in Oahu. I think, and yeah, it was good, but because of the same time, we were the only ones singing the Hawaiian songs and then doing hula in Korea. Very unique, but um, but at the same time, not many people know about or interested in the Hawaiian culture. So that's it. That was it. So two other musicians just uh, left, went back to their
Mm.
own music, what they already originally doing, and I'm still I'm the only one still doing Hawaiian music now. What was the question?
No, well, no, I think no. This is great. It went well. What we went to was sort of kind of picking up your ukulele and the work you were doing in Hawaii. But I think you sort of took us through the journey of sort of your first couple of years in Hawaii and then how you ended up back in Korea. And I think a couple of follow-up questions that I had for you. So when you were still when you started doing this almost event coordination while you were in Hawaii and bringing artists like Herboda Jr. and Don Ho to Korea, were you traveling back to Korea to be there when they came over to Korea as well?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
It was not Don Ho. It's Daniel Ho.
That's why I'm sorry.
Daniel Ho.
I meant Daniel Ho. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah, no, Don Ho. That would have been a very interesting one to have happen. When you had Herboda Jr. and Daniel Ho, when they came to Korea, did you come over with them from Hawaii?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you would travel back to Korea to be there for the event that they would come over for.
Yes. With them, Alan Okami was there, and then a couple other workers also came.
Okay.
They're not working in KoAloha anymore, but yeah,
Okay,
That's
cool.
That was their first visit to Korea.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that fascinates me is you're still doing your event planning and communications. You're doing your video production company, so you're still doing all the things that you were working towards your PhD for. You're obviously putting your education to use. But what the amazing thing is, and what I've tried to do in my life is you followed your passion, right?
Mm.
You do have a passion for video production and the video and photography side of things, because we talked about that with both of our love for camera gear. But I think the cool thing is that you followed your passion, and you're still doing your video production, you're still doing your event planning stuff, but you're playing Hawaiian music, you're playing ukulele, you've produced an album, you and your wife, run the business that you guys have, both teaching ukulele and running the halau. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And we've talked a little bit about it's interesting because we've talked about, you're saying that the Hawaiian music and ukulele and stuff is still not super popular in Korea, but you pulled together in 3 days notice. You pulled together the event that we had at that ukulele shop there in Seoul, and that place was busy. I mean, how many people would you say we had there?
I don't know, but that was, to be honest, that was actually less than I expected.
Oh, really? You expected more?
I expected more, but the place, the venue was is ukulele, one of the ukulele stores, the biggest ukulele stores in Korea, dealers, and they just recently moved to a new place. So I think that not many people actually uh, knew about knew about this new place. So that's why.
Okay.
Mm. So if we um, I mean advertised earlier, maybe obviously more people would come, but it was like
Sure.
last minute, like 3 days. So. But
Well,
actually,
I
I was
mean,
actually still glad that many people came. You know.
I feel like we were busier in that one afternoon than we were in the 2 whole days in Tokyo.
Oh
I
yeah.
felt like there was more activity and more interest in the ukuleles that we had for display, in the music that you guys were playing, the kind of kapila, that circle that we had. I mean, it was supposed to be a 2 hour event. It ended up being 3 hours,
Yeah.
you know? So I think the cool thing for me the takeaway for me there was that there's clearly interest. And the key is just how to continue to build on that. I mean, I know you've been at it for, you've been working at this, but there's clearly a whether even if it's a smaller population of people, there's clearly some interest there. It was fun to see because you know it wasn't just that people were interested only in the music too, but they were fascinated by all the ukuleles that were there on display. And I had brought my few ukuleles from both Hawaii and Japan. But it wasn't just the ones that I had that were getting a lot of interest. We had 3 amazing builders from Korea that were there as well. And maybe you could walk through. You might be even better person to walk through than me on who those 3 Korean builders are over there.
Yeah, the event, the UGH came, the Korea. I would say they are only. I mean, two active custom builders in Korea, and then 2 other new custom builders, and then those active 2 builders. One is Chisel Ukulele, Jinsu Park Chisel Ukulele, and another one is Oul Oul Craft Tae Kim. Uh, Both they've been building ukuleles for since since 2000, 2010. No. Maybe about 9 and 10 years in Korea. Before they were building ukuleles and guitars in the factory and the manufacturer. But they started their own workshop about like 8 or 10 years ago, and then because only because I was the one who was helping ukulele dealers and uh, planners to for the events for about the ukulele. They we I mean, mm, yeah, became a good friends, and asked me for help them to when they went to Hawaii, or when they wanted to meet certain people in Korea and Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And mm, Jinsu was one I introduced him to Kimo Hussey the first, and because I was already um, I'm not really builders and then really an expert about the instruments, but I just love ukulele, um, and then I knew he was building good ukuleles. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I was having a workshop and concert with Kimo, it was 2016 or 17. At the after party, I invited Jisu to the after party, and I asked him to bring one of his uke. And
Nice.
then he brought the ukulele that he built with the Korean wood, and then Kimo was very impressed. And then he he asked Jinsu if we could take it to Hawaii. So that's how Jinsu was introduced to um, Hawaii and UGH members.
Nice.
As I know, I think Kimo sold it to ukulele site. I think the ukulele store, ukulele site.
So I know that both Sean Yakovone from Ukulele Friend, and then also I think Andrew Katakis from Ukulele Site both have sold Chisel, because when I got back from the trip, I actually had breakfast with Sean, and he was talking to me about Jinsu's ukes and the fan fret that he does. And then that afternoon, I was up at the Ukulele Site with Andrew Katakis, and I was talking about the trip and you guys, and I brought up both Chisel and Oul Craft. And he was like, Chisel, Jinsu. He's like, oh yeah, I know who that is. He's like, yeah. He's like, I think we've sold, one or two of his ukes before. And so it's great that there are a couple of shops over here that know the guys and have sold their stuff.
Yeah, to talk about Jinsu and Jungtae, they're very opposite. Their characteristics and everything is very opposite. How they build ukulele, even you go to workshop and then everything's like totally opposite way.
They do. Yeah, it's true. They are very different, and but at the end they both build amazing instruments.
Yeah. So
but they're different.
Yeah, very different. So when Kimo asked Jinsu to come to UGH exhibitions, what was that, 2018 or something?
This is the one in Hawaii?
Yeah, one in Hawaii. And then actually asked him to give a workshop there.
Oh, wow.
About the bevel cut.
Oh, yep.
And then Jinsu doesn't speak English fluently, so he was actually gonna say no. But I pushed him. Yeah, you should go. Why is it? I mean, this is a good opportunity. I mean, I don't think they ask you to come to, give a lesson about new thing. I think they just want you to come for the relationship, building a relationship. So you should go.
Yep.
And then Jinsu went there, and then make really good friends with the UGH members. But at the time, Jinsu asked Jungtae to come together, and Jungtae was like, it's like Jinsu is more like adventure. They enjoying. Jungtae is more like, very careful. Be very careful in everything. Maybe I should wait. You go first, and then I just wait. See how it goes.
let Jinsu get through all the bad stuff, and then I'll come in and when things are clear, a little bit more clear.
Yeah. It was really funny. Just looking at how they did their reactions, to see their reactions to the same matters. And anyway, the Jinsu went there and then made really good friends with the UGH, and he was really satisfied. And then next year, Jungtae went to Hawaii too. And then next year, we brought Kimo to Korea again. And then at that time, I asked Jungtae to come and then meet Kimo, and he brought his 19 inches scales tenor ukulele.
Oh, that's right up Kimo's alley.
Yeah, there was actually he never done it before. He's never done it. He was only the best sales ukulele model was a long neck soprano.
That sounds right.
He didn't even build tenor size. Often at the time, mostly long neck soprano and concert size. But he wanted to give a try. Give a shot to build one that he never done it before. And then Kimo loved it. Kimo really loved it, and then I think he took it to Hawaii. I think.
I'm not surprised. That long neck, that baritone, or baritone range scale.
Yeah.
with a tenor body. It's kind of like that divine tenatone that we had out there, right? That size. He loves that type of instrument. That is like that. As soon as you said 19-inch tenor body, I went, oh god, that's Kimo.
19 inches tenor size. I mean scales. I mean, it's not popular at all in Korea.
No, that's not even a typical, even beyond Korea, Asia in general, right? You know, you go even in Japan, where ukulele is tremendously popular. You know, tenor is there's a lot of tenors there, but I think, you know, if you talk to the shop owners and ask them what do they sell more of, I'm willing to bet concerts probably sell way more.
Yeah.
And like even those sopranos and long neck sopranos, like you talked about, just I think Asia in general likes the smaller instrument. I don't know if it's the size of the fretboard with the fingers, or if it's the tone to them sounds more like they like that higher, brighter sound, like, you know, more Hawaiian style or old Hawaiian style, or what it is. But
I was actually thinking about it. I mean, really hard about. I mean, just figure out why. But I mean, Hawaiian sound and Hawaiian. I mean, traditional ukulele sound. Koreans actually. I mean, we don't know about. I mean, is really. We never. I mean, had a opportunity to listen Hawaiian music before, like traditional ukulele sound. So I think it's a bit more about size. I think it's more about size.
The physical size.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so yeah, that actually from the Korea side, that makes total sense. And my guess is it's probably the same thing with Japan as well. It's probably the physical size. I think just in general, like, especially in Japan, actually, and probably in Korea too, given how I saw how many apartment buildings there are over there. You know, for most people, space is pretty tight. So people like, size of anything is a factor for probably both Koreans and Japanese. So, you know, the soprano in concert, you know, why go buy a tenor that's going to just take up more space? If you can, you know, just have that concert or that soprano, which makes so much more sense. But yeah, you know, I had actually heard personally before coming to Korea, I'd heard more about Jungtae's stuff only because he's historically been a little more active on social media, with Oul Craft. But man, both of those guys build amazing ukulele, and like you said, you know, they're both very different, both their personalities and their building styles. And in fact, in this, when we post this on YouTube, I'm going to post a link not only to all your websites and everything else, but I'm going to post a link to that video that you showed me, where they built. Maybe you could actually talk about this for a second, where you know, they both took sets of koa and each built their ukes and then traded them with each other. So actually, maybe you could spend a minute talking about that, because I think this was actually a really interesting thing that happened. And then we'll get back to your music and everything else. But, you know, part of me wanting to do this was to spend most of the time talking about you and your music, but also a little bit about, you know, taking the opportunity to talk about ukulele in Korea in general.
Yeah, ukulele and I mean Hawaiian music and Hawaiian, I mean hula and everything is very new to Korea, which means there are not many people doing that.
Yeah.
So there's no one we actually go and then watch and learn the music or building ukulele. I mean hula too. We always have to go to Hawaii, go to Japan to find the one that we could learn from.
Right.
And so instead of going to find the teachers and instructors, and we try our best to do in Korea to learn each other. So that's the what I was doing was making a hula concert that invite all those other hula studios and then perform on the same stage so we can learn from each other.
Hmm.
And then the same idea that Jungtae and Jinsu was doing this project that they they decide same material wood core and everything like fretboard and everything like inlay materials and everything, but they build one for each other with their style because their ukulele sounds totally different, but they couldn't figure out why they're so different. I mean, they know how they built each other. They saw everything about each other's workshop and then what tools and what machines they're using, but the sounds totally different.
Yep.
So they wanted to, stay. So why, hey, why don't we just do this project and then make a ukulele to another each other, and then we could learn, we could study the ukulele. And then they did this, and then they the first time they told me about this project, I thought they wouldn't do it. I mean, they were just talking about it, just playing. But yeah, but they just did it, and then those both ukuleles I saw, it was both are really really nice. I mean, if I was a customer, I would buy both. Really,
Yeah.
really good ones. So I asked them, hey, this is a really good project, and then result came out really nice, and we should videotape, we should record this about this project. So I suggest them to make a video, and then that's the video that I showed you. And then they the original plan was they were they were gonna keep those ukulele forever, but
Right, they were going to keep each other's, right? Like the one,
each other,
like Jintai was going to keep Jinsu's and
Jesus,
the other, yeah.
But they sold they, they sold right away.
Well, you were saying because they not because they wanted to, but because customers were asking them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
just thinking about, that one is actually also very interesting because customers went to Oul Craft and buying Jesus uke. And the customer, right? So it was actually just thinking about it, just very very interesting too.
Well, and it was, and folks, if you do click on the link, which I do encourage you to do, it is in Korean, but if you love and know ukulele, even if it's in Korean, you can watch it and get a sense of what's going on in the video, because you'll be able to see when they're passing them back and forth and playing them a little bit, and they're kind of pointing to things and talking about it. So I was able to get a sense of it, and it was just really interesting to see these two builders who technically are competitors, because they both build custom ukulele in Korea. So they're, sort of fighting for the same customers, and they're, sharing knowledge, sharing information. And it's such the Hawaiian way, or such the ukulele way, but clearly it sounds like there's this fit of Korean culture too, in that you guys are also ones who like to share information and share knowledge and help each other out. And so it was just a fascinating thing to me to see these two builders who've kind of become friends, who are very different in style of ukulele, personality, everything, do this project with each other. And I thought it was so cool. And yeah, I wish they would have kept the ukuleles themselves too, but I understand, you gotta also run a business and do all that. But yeah, I think, both these builders just do a really good job. Both I got a chance to tour their shops. They are different, in their, everything is very unique to them to each other, but the care and quality and craftsmanship, the woods that these guys use, they're both fantastic, and they're just stylistically a little bit different in the way they are. One thing that I didn't know right away, but makes total sense. Like Junte learned from Shinji of Seilen ukulele,
Yeah.
and there's definitely you can as soon as you told me that, I went, oh, okay, that makes sense, because if you look at some of the styles of Junte's instruments, and you look at some of Shinji's instruments, like you can kind of see where the inspiration came from a little bit.
Yeah.
So going back to your stuff, so talk about some of the festivals and things that you've run, and what you're trying to do with Hawaiian music and hula and such over in Korea.
Um, the music, um, it was really hard to convince other musicians to join the Hawaiian music. So actually, I gave up. I gave up and just okay. I'm just gonna do it by myself. And then, but hula is different. In Japan, there are lots of hula people, and then the Hawaiian cultural history is also, much longer than Korean. Korean.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started hula, mm, mm, and the Hawaiian Cultural Association, yeah, when I saw other hula studios and hula dancers, they're they're really, no, I think no one really knows proper way to, wear lace and then dress and all that stuff. Not even had really good, the performance on stage that acknowledges. So hey, well, I mean that's why I started this festival like Aloha Korea, which is I invite other hula studios, and also invited a couple hula studios from Japan too.
Well, that's great.
So instead of like, hey, you're wrong. Hey, this is not supposed to be this. This is nobody. Had a. I mean, no one could judge it. No one could judge it. To others in Korea at the time. Still now too. But so why don't we just, pointing others and then try to correct them. We just we just let them do what they were doing, and then naturally they could. They could learn from each other and then cheer
Yeah.
up each other. So it went really well. So lots of hula dancers, like 140 hula dancers joined
Wow.
and then perform on the same stage. And then we, I was doing it every year, but stopped it after COVID.
Mm.
Uh, but after COVID, this year, I was thinking, should I do it, or should I continue doing it, or not? Because it's a kind of interesting. Many of the hula studios, they stopped joining us because
Oh, really? Okay.
they felt like they were judged by other hula dancers
Oh.
too. So it was actually not. It wasn't true. But mean, but I cannot deny if they felt that way, maybe that's true, for them. So some of them stopped joining this festival, and I was like, oh, maybe I have to change the way, the program. And then I was actually thinking of not doing it this year. But fortunately, I got funded by a city called Sihun, which is 40 minutes away from Seoul, next to the ocean, the west side of Korea. And there's an artificial island called Turtle Island, which is the shape is turtle. shape looks like
It's exactly like a turtle.
yeah. And then and then there's a indoor surfing park, which is the biggest artificial wave uh, pool in
Yep.
Asia. It's happened to be there right next to the island. So the city government asked me to come and then be a director for the Hawaiian festival there.
It's amazing.
Maybe this year, I'll just do it. I'll just put all my effort to this festival, and it's happening in August the 26th and August 27th. It was actually September, but they just moved the date
Oh, okay.
to August. So I gonna invite Hawaiian musician band, um, and I think Aine is coming. Talking with Aine, and then the other Japanese musicians too, the Hiroshi and Joji are coming too, and then another like ukulele players in Korea, and plus like well-known popular acoustic bands in Korea too, because
Great.
because I did ukulele festivals too, but the one thing I learned from those festivals like ukulele and hula, and then also learned from Alan Okami, KoAloha. He gave me lots of good tips. And just ukulele or hula itself not gonna work in Korea. I think it's more important to bring Hawaiian, lifestyle, how they relax in their lifestyle. So instead of doing a festival only about ukulele and only about hula, uh, maybe we should do something. We should do something more like more common thing lifestyle. Like we could be surfing or outdoors and then, like food and then on the stage performance maybe uh, besides the ukulele and hula, we invite a nice good acoustic band. So people who are not interested or not known about Hawaiian culture could just join and enjoy the festival. So
Yep.
so I'm gonna do um, I'm planning to invite those good ukulele musicians to, and plus we gonna have a small, very like informal stage that all any ukulele lovers or hula lovers can join and then perform.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a good piece of advice from Alan and in the approach. Even in Japan, where ukulele is very popular, even still, people will spend money from everything I see. People will spend money on nice ukuleles, like people will collect ukuleles and things, but they don't spend a lot of money on like ukulele performances and things like that, like concerts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to the broader Hawaiian culture, so if you add hula and you add more about Hawaii broadly, it starts to get very popular and people will spend money on coming to these festivals and events. And this is even in Japan, where there's a lot longer history between Japan and Hawaii than Korea and Hawaii. So, I think having that more broad event where you're doing it near the water, there's the surfing going on, there is ukulele and hula going on, but there's also acoustic music. It's more about relaxing, laid back, friendly, smiling, like bringing about the whole culture story. Over time, that could then help grow the ukulele and hula community even more.
Yeah.
But you're capturing a wider audience, and then more people will hear what you guys do as well. Even if it's not all the focus right away, it's a great idea, I think, and I think that festival. I'm excited to see how this festival goes.
Yeah, we had a ukulele festival used to have in Korea. I mean, a good friend of mine studied that one, and then the last one actually we took it over, and they did it right before the COVID, and then we stopped doing it after COVID. But that festival, the first and second year was tons of people, like 10,000 people came visit
Oh
the
wow,
festival, which is, I mean, a lot.
that's a
But
lot.
yeah, but third and fourth years, yeah, like less than half of them came,
Hmm.
and then and they realized only the same people came, no new people.
It was always the same, like
Yeah, all the
4 or 5 thousand. Yeah.
yeah, and then people. I mean, I could even recognize all those people's face. I mean, it's just because every year same people came. There are no new people, and then I also really wondering why the reason, and then and I that was a time I figured, oh, maybe it's only our party. It could
Oh,
be a yeah, it would be better if people walking around and then listen to music and, oh, this is really nice music and I want to go and join this. No one, I mean, no one actually did it. So that's why I mean, every year less people came, and then eventually the festival we stopped doing it. Yeah, so that's why I try not to be this like this festival like it's in the same way. Could should should be. I mean, this is obviously city the, the funded by city government. It's a city's festival, like the community festival. So we have to I mean, the people from the community have to, I mean, enjoy all together.
right.
The vendors, and then so to do that, if we concentrate only on Hawaii too much, maybe not a good idea for them. And they actually city government, the people, the officers in the government actually was worrying about that one first, but I told him that, oh, this only like Hawaii, only ukulele, only hula. It's gonna be more there will be music that anybody can enjoy. There'll be food and everybody can enjoy. The vendors, markets, and all that stuff. So that's how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a mix, and that's where that's how you bring in a broader crowd, and then you start to see hopefully just more growth in the interest in the Hawaiian aspects and the ukulele aspects and things like that, just because they're going to hear some of that stuff as part of the and experience some of that stuff as part of a broader festival, but it's not the only thing for them to enjoy.
Yeah.
So
still, I think it's still. I mean, in Korea, it's better to introduce Hawaiian culture more. I mean, in gentle, nice way. I mean,
yeah,
not
right, smaller,
not too aggressive.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. I think it's going to be a fun event for folks. So I want to talk a little bit about KoAloha, because you've mentioned KoAloha a little bit, a couple of times. You mentioned Alan Okami's name a couple of times, and you've got a beautiful KoAloha sitting right behind you there, with some pretty nice looking koa actually. That's a pretty nice looking one right there. Yeah, it is. Yeah, look at that bad boy. Oh, look at that. Look at that name right on there. That's sweet. So talk about, I love the Okami family. Alan's my boy. Paul, all of them, pops, moms. I mean, they're all just great people, even their kids. But talk to me a little bit about your history with KoAloha and your connection. And actually, there's a couple of you over there in Korea that are doing work with KoAloha.
Yeah. The first how I met with the Alan Okami KoAloha family. When I was in Hawaii, I got a phone call, I mean, email from there's like music how do you call it? Management company. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then the manager asked me if I could find a ukulele manufacturer to sponsor a new band. They're only the ukulele band in Korea. All the members were kind of famous indie musicians, and one of the indie musicians was actually known for ukulele singer-songwriter. So already popular, very popular in Korea. Uh, his name his name is TJ. Yeah, I was really happy because I liked TJ's music, and then was really happy to hear the news that there will be ukulele band in Korea.
Sure.
So oh yeah, I'll help you, and then I took their demo CDs. I mean, it's not released yet, but it's going to release very soon. Everything's done already, masterings and everything done. And I took the CD to Ukulele Papua because I was having a good relationship with it, Ken and Tyler. And then actually, that was the only place that I always hang out after studying. And I went there and then gave them the CD and then asked them if they could talk to the ukulele manufacturers, Kanilea, Kamaka, and KoAloha, because the manager asked me because since the member are three, they don't they didn't expect they didn't he, they didn't expect the KoAloha, I mean, any manufacturer would sponsor three ukuleles to unknown musicians and in Korea from Korea. So they she, the manager, asked me very carefully and say like, I don't know, I'm not sure if this is right way to ask or not. I don't even know, but it would be possible to find the manufacturers to sponsor them their ukuleles to these three musicians. Doesn't have to be like one manufacturer. As long as we could sponsor by ukulele manufacturer from Hawaii, it would be great. I mean, to advertise. I mean, to release the album with the stories and you know, and that's how I went to Puapo, and then I think the very next day in the morning. No, actually, yeah, no, actually, that same day evening, uh, Tyler called me that KoAloha wanted to see me, and then I went there right next day. And then Allah Okami was there, and then he gave me big a big basket of all those like snacks and everything as a present. And then then he said, "Pops, his father really loved the CD album." And then he said, "Oh, we should do this." And then he said, he would sponsor three ukuleles and the plus one Papa signature ukuleles too.
Nice.
So four of them. So and then the first day, the very first moment I saw Alan Okami was like I liked him. Means my I knew he's to my brother. And we look alike. I mean look alike too, but uh, characteristic. And then but the funny thing is he was like not only just talking about the ukuleles, and he was talking about really silly stuff, and he even showed me kung fu. I mean, he was doing I don't know, it was a qigong. He said qigong or something like like energy, like a kung fu kind of thing. He was actually showing me at his office, and then I was like, oh, this guy's kind of funny and interesting. And then
That is definitely Alan.
yeah, and then he gave me a tenor ukulele.
Wow.
He's like, "Do you have ukulele? Do you play?" Yeah, of course. My first ukulele was KoAloha. I didn't even
Oh, it
know
was?
them. And then yeah, that was the one I bought in
Indiana.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it was broken. While I was packing to move to Hawaii, it
Oh,
was
no.
broken. So I fixed it by myself. I glued them, but it was ugly. But anyway, I was actually That was my first ukulele, first music instrument that my father bought for me.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, but I told that about Alan, and he was like playing like his tenor ukulele, and then showing me and telling me who's his Kumu ukulele was mm, and then showing, and then hey, you play this, and then I took it and then played a little bit, and then hey, it's yours.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like I was shocked, and then yeah, didn't expect getting those. I mean, because the tenor ukulele costs a lot. I mean, cost much, right? It's not a cheap. I mean,
No,
ukulele. I mean, so,
no.
yeah, very shocked, and then yeah, that's how I got how I met Alan Okami and KoAloha family. Then one day it was a couple of days before Thanksgiving Day. Alan called me, hey, why don't you come over to my house and then have a dinner together?
Oh,
And
that's
then I went
awesome.
there, and I met Hobota Jr. and Tony Conjugation, who was my kumuhula. That's how I became with friend with them. And then Tony even asked me to join his halau, and that's how I got into hula. And then it was the same year, yeah, because my birthday was December, and then Alan called me to stop over his store, and then I went there, and then Pops built the ukulele for me as a birthday present, and
Wow.
then wait, I'm gonna show you what the ukulele is.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Okay. So this is originally actually one of my good friend ukulele dealers in Korea. Uh, order KoAloha to give me as a birthday present. I mean, the surprise, because I helped him a lot, so he wanted to give this ukulele to me as a surprise present. And then pops and moms really liked his idea. They really love this guy, Vincent Ukumenia, Vincent. And then he actually gave this ukulele to Vincent as a present to give me a birthday present.
Oh,
So it's
really?
yeah. So she's this.
Ah, scepter.
Yeah, scepter made with Brazilian cedar.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I was I was very shocked, but I'm not used to. I mean, express emotions. I mean, to people. So I was happy, but they were like, "Aren't you happy?" And then, "Oh, I'm happy," and then so happy.
Inside.
Yeah, inside, yeah, inside. And then Pops he even cried, and he even bounced, and
Oh,
Pops even cried. I mean, he was telling me those stories, how they decide to build this ukulele as a present to my friend who wanted to give this ukulele to me as a present. So and then there, the Pops asked me to come down. It was an old koala factory, to introduce me to someone there. And I went there, and there was Kimo Hussey.
ah,
Kimo was Kimo Hussey, and then the house like, hey, this is a guy from Korea, and then we just built his this ukulele, custom ukulele for him, and then Kimo was I mean shocked, and then he played my ukulele. He played love, LOVE, love there.
Yep.
And I was oh, that's the style that I really want to learn. I was then, then Kimo suddenly asked me, "Hey, you, if you teach me how to make bulgogi, I'll teach you ukulele." And then gave me his number, and then I actually called him right next day, and then he was surprised because that he said nobody called him. I mean, even though he was telling everybody's like, "Oh, I want to teach you," and then nobody called me, but you're the one, actually first one, the very first one who called me. And then that time, and after that, we met regularly every week, and then talk about ukulele and learn how to play ukulele, and Hawaiian music too. I learned most of Hawaii music from Kimo, and then but he realized that I'm more into like coordinating or planning events like Hawaiian culture event than playing solo ukulele. And so he started introducing me all those nice people like UGH members and all the
Mhm.
people who's involved in Hawaiian culture stuff. And then just and then yeah, that's how I met all other UGH members and the group Hawaiian culture people. Um, yeah, then um, that's how I met Kimo Hussey. And then back to KoAloha. The Alan really, Alan was the, I mean, Alan was the only one actually helped Korea market um, grow. He actually warned, hey, it's not like a competition is not a good idea here in Korea now because it only brings only like competing each other. It's not like not developing each other. So
Mhm.
it's time to it's time to invite all of them and then build something all together, not just like not judging each other. So I learned the most of the philosophy from Alan and then Kimo Hussey uh, for doing what I do now. And then Alan helped us a lot to for the festival or the concert or anything. Like he even brought his quarter musician with their own expenses. They paid all the expenses to help us in Korea. Um, but unfortunately, ukulele boom. Ukulele is like kind of market got slower, and then COVID started, and then we actually stopped doing it, and then actually even stopped talking about it. But beginning of this year, I talked to I told Alan, hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it again. Everything's doing it, start over, and then I want you to. If you are still, thinking, okay, if you're still looking, like can see the potentials in Korea, I want you to help me once more, and then we can build everything once again in Korea, and then this will be this will be different because we learned
Oh
a
yeah.
lot from past. So he said, "Oh yeah, and that's the first thing that we do would be the festival in August."
I think it's going to be awesome, and I love to see that. I love to see, and I'm not surprised that Alan and KoAloha are taking interest in and getting themselves involved in it. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be. You're going to take a lot of good learning from the stuff that you've had before,
Yeah,
and what you're kind of doing this time, and I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great festival, and I think it's going to be probably the first of potentially many.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, it really does seem like a great opportunity and a great location, and just all the pieces kind of coming together, that it could just be a great overall festival event that
yeah. And then
for
this is
Koreans.
and then this is the very first event that we fully funded by city government.
Mhm.
So and
Which is
then
good.
yeah, which is good. And then by the law, we're not allowed to find the sponsors because it's just still it's a funded and then the city event.
Oh,
So it's a law. It's against the law to find the other
additional
sponsor.
sponsorships.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but still okay. We got funded, and then this it's been 10 years. I mean, for doing like planning the events in Hawaiian events in Korea, but this would be the biggest and the biggest event that we have ever done. We thought I thought actually, and it's I thought it would be a good good I mean good opportunity, good chance to start over,
Hmm.
but like a phase two.
Yeah, exactly. We're kind of, we're now finally sort of settled out of COVID. This is a good opportunity, a good time to start, you know, I think phase two is a great way to look at it, because it really kind of, it is for a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, because I've tried so many times to knock the city government's door and to get funded, but nobody would really get interested in Hawaiian culture, anything like even about Hawaiian culture. But this time they contacted me first and they asked me, doing a Hawaiian culture event in that city. It was actually the very first time, and then kind of like it's a very positive. Ways to look at now is more. I got more calls, more phone calls and emails from the community, like like how do you call it, like the hospitals, and then like organizations, and then do like a cultural event or culture program with their patients and then elders.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it's a good sign. Good sign. More, society is actually people in Korea kind of started to recognize the Hawaiian culture more than before, which is good.
That is good. And I think these, also being tied in with the city and having the connections, you're going to build more of a reputation. And that's why, I was saying, just having it focused purely on Hawaii or ukulele isn't necessarily the critical piece here. The critical piece is having a successful event that has those components as part of it. And so, now your name's going to get more recognized. Now there's going to be more connection, and then that will help then spread more ukulele, more Hawaiian, more of all the rest of everything that you are trying to do, you and your wife. Honestly, it's your family business, really, of what you're doing. So, man, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I wish I could make it.
Yeah.
I would love to. That's going to be right at my 50th birthday is going to be August 29th. So, what a way to celebrate that would be. So we'll have to see if I come. It would definitely have to involve my wife, I think, for sure, this time, because I don't think I'm making 2 trips to Korea in a year and by myself. I think I would definitely be bringing the wife, but she's dying to. After hearing about the trip that we had just a week ago, she's dying to come over and hang with you guys.
Yeah.
So
my wife would love to meet your wife too.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they could be a good friend.
I think so. I think we would. I think the 4 of us would do some damage and have some fun. eat some good food and have some quality drink. Well, Don, man, this has been amazing. I so appreciate you taking the time. I know it's middle of your Sunday, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this conversation and share a little bit of your sort of Korean Hawaiian aloha. It's, you know, folks, if you haven't had a chance, you got to look up the stuff that Don does. His playing, his singing. I think, you know, we probably need to have another episode where I'm working on figuring out the technology to make sure that we can accurately record somebody playing or singing. But you need to hear this guy's playing and singing. It's amazing. I mean, actually, if you go on my Instagram, on Ukulele Mana Instagram, there's definitely some of Don's performances that have been posted up on Instagram and my Facebook. So again, man, I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your Sunday, and you know, looking forward to hearing more about this event as it gets closer.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
All right.